All right, another controversial issue tonight, candidates. In the last few months, we have seen several police officers in Tennessee at least suspended, but also charged or even indicted weeks following deadly officer-involved shootings. As governor, would you mandate that TBI investigate all officer-involved shootings in the state of Tennessee as a way of ensuring transparency? Mr. Dean.
Well, I would hope that this has been happening in Nashville, that local police departments would automatically say that an outside group should investigate this, just for public trust, for transparency, and to make sure that everybody feels that this has been handled correctly. And I would not be afraid to say, to look at mandating that also. You know, it's just like anything else in life. When something occurs, you need an outside group to come in and look at it and evaluate it and investigate it in a neutral manner and make the right decisions and recommendations. So I think the TBI could do that and do that very well.
To follow up with you quickly, and I will get to you, Mr. Lee, the concern about that, though, is that's going to come with a fiscal note. There's going to be some money required with that, some taxpayer expense to investigate that many more cases. Your response?
Well, I think, you know, for me, things like this are basic justice, and how people respond to the criminal justice system and how much they trust it and how much people think that the justice system is blind to racial issues and other issues is important, and it would be worth those dollars in my mind.
Mr. Lee, the idea of mandating that the TBI investigate all officer-involved school shootings.
Let me say first that I have a tremendous respect for law enforcement all across this state. They put their lives on the line to protect us every single day, and we need to fully support law enforcement. It's why I've been endorsed by the Fraternal Order of Police. It's why I have 50 police chiefs, sheriffs, and district attorneys on our law enforcement coalition of endorsement. I do think that when there is, what I believe is when there is a fatality, when there's a shooting fatality, that is when the TBI should be brought in. We don't have the resources to investigate every shooting, but we certainly need to make sure whenever there's a fatality and it rises to that level, then we need to be certain that outside resources are brought in to be certain that we do find justice and that we do find the truth, and that would be my approach.
But of course, as you may be aware, in Memphis, there was a case where there was not a fatality. There is a young man who's holding on to his life at Regional 1 Medical Center. He was shot by an officer. Yeah. We know from the police director that 2 of the officers turned off their body cams, and others, the shooter was not, his body cam was not on. And so there was valuable time there that was wasted before the police director actually asked for the TBI to come in. This is one of those cases where they think the TBI should automatically be called in.
Very difficult, and we've got to work with law enforcement. And I would to say, okay, besides this fatality shooting, what other circumstances might we look at? We don't have the resources. We can't just raise taxes every time we need to do something move forward. But we can work with law enforcement. I plan to say how do we actually improve on the current system, or a system that would only address fatalities? And I'd be open to that.
All right, thank you, Katina.
Okay.